A man's moral boundaries can crumble far more easily than he ever imagined, especially when temptation shows up out of nowhere. He wakes up from a deep sleep and finds no one beside him. For a moment, he breathes a sigh of relief, thinking everything that happened last night was just a ridiculous dream, that the girls were nothing more than a fantasy. But the second he steps out of the bedroom, he's stunned by what he sees. The protagonist, Evan, is the kind of guy most people would call a total success. He has a thriving career and even designed his own luxury home in the Hollywood Hills. He's married to a talented sculptor and has two sweet, well-behaved kids, the picture of a perfect husband and father. Then comes Father's Day weekend. His wife takes the kids on a short trip, leaving Evan alone to finish an urgent architectural project and enjoy some rare quiet time. That night, a sudden storm hits Los Angeles, heavy rain pounding the windows, wind howling outside, while inside, everything feels warm and peaceful. But the calm is shattered by a rapid, almost desperate knock at the door. It's not cautious or hesitant. It's the kind of knock that instantly triggers sympathy, filled with urgency and helplessness. Evan hesitates. Opening the door late at night isn't exactly safe, but when he looks through the peephole, he sees two young women soaked to the bone, one blonde, Belle, and one brunette, Genesis. Their thin clothes cling to them, their eyes full of panic and vulnerability. And being the kind of man who prides himself on kindness and decency, Evan just can't bring himself to turn them away. He steps aside and lets them in to get out of the rain. He brings them clean towels, pours them hot water, and even offers to call a cab. To him, it's just a small act of kindness. Once the ride arrives, this unexpected encounter should be over. But what Evan doesn't realize is that once he opens that door, there's no closing it again. After coming inside, the girls politely take off their shoes, careful not to dirty the floor, which lowers Evan's guard even more. Not long after, Genesis makes a request that sounds reasonable on the surface, but carries something more beneath it. Drying their clothes takes time, and it requires access to Evan's private space, setting the stage for what comes next. He takes their wet clothes to the laundry room, carefully setting the dryer, keeping a respectful distance the entire time, with no inappropriate thoughts. But when he returns to the living room, what he sees makes him uneasy. The girls are now wearing his wife's oversized robes and have turned on the record player. They're dancing freely in the living room, holding his dog, acting intimate and carefree. Nothing like the timid, helpless girls from before. Evan tries to re-establish boundaries. He gently takes the dog back from Belle and deliberately sits across from them. He even pulls out photos of his wife's sculptures, emphasizing her talent and how strong their relationship is. But the girls don't seem to get the message. Instead, they echo each other, pushing twisted ideas and values. Bit by bit, they chip away at Evan's moral defenses, while inside, he's conflicted and shaken. After all, no one stays completely unaffected around two young, attractive women, yet his sense of responsibility keeps warning him not to cross the line. Right then, his phone buzzes. The rideshare app says the driver has arrived. It's like a splash of cold water, snapping Evan back to reality. He quickly goes to the laundry room and grabs their dried clothes. Standing outside the bathroom, he asks them to get dressed and leave, but there's no response, just laughter and playful noise inside. With no other choice, Evan covers his eyes and cautiously pushes the bathroom door open. What he sees instantly freezes him in place. Under the girls' aggressive advances, Evan's moral defenses completely collapse, and he falls into the sudden temptation. The next morning, Evan wakes up to an empty bed. He sighs in relief, thinking it was all just a ridiculous dream. But the moment he steps outside, he's stunned again. The living room and kitchen are a complete mess. Dishes scattered everywhere, food thrown around, milk and juice spilled all over the floor. The record player is still blasting loud music, while the girls casually eat breakfast, laughing and playing around as if they own the place. Evan's face darkens. He demands they leave immediately, and even offers to drive them home. But they ignore him completely, showing no intention of leaving. Just then, his phone rings. It's a video call from his wife. Evan panics instantly. He grabs his phone and rushes outside, turning his back to the house as he pretends everything is normal. But out of the corner of his eye, he sees the girls watching him through the glass door, smiling in a way that sends chills down his spine. He quickly hangs up. After the call, Evan can't hold back his anger anymore. He storms inside and aggressively tells them to get dressed and leave. But while waiting, he discovers the girls have started scribbling all over his wife's carefully crafted sculptures. Those pieces are her life's work and worth a lot of money. That's the final straw. Evan pulls out his phone to call the police. But instead of being scared, the girls laugh. Genesis steps forward, her eyes cold as she speaks.
15 to 20 years?
I think it is 20. 15 gets to 20, right?
Her words hit like a knife, striking straight at Evan's weakest point. Thinking it's just blackmail, he pulls out his wallet.
How much?
What do you think we are, hookers? Jesus, Evan, we're not fucking whores!
You're the fucking whore. Whore?
The slap that follows snaps Evan back to reality. The girls drop their act completely, the helpless, gentle masks gone, revealing obsession and madness underneath. Evan tries to fight back, but Genesis knocks him down with a fire extinguisher. They tie him up tightly on the bed, and the real torture begins. They trash his house, tear his architectural designs to pieces, and even film explicit footage of him, uploading it to his social media. It gets worse. Evan's friend Louis stops by, gets caught up in their games, and ends up dead by accident. During brief pauses in the torment, Evan finally learns the truth from their conversations. Both Belle and Genesis had traumatic childhoods. They were abused growing up, and the trauma twisted their minds completely, warping their views on sex and morality. They see themselves as agents of justice, deliberately targeting married men and those who can't resist temptation. In their minds, this extreme behavior is punishment, an outlet for their pain and anger. The ending is both absurd and deeply ironic. The girls don't kill Evan. Instead, they bury him in a hole in the garden, leaving only his head exposed under the blazing sun. They pack up, take some of his belongings, and drive off in search of their next target. Evan loses everything: his friend, his reputation, his career, and his family. The explicit video spreads across the internet. His wife leaves him after learning the truth, and overnight, he falls from a man everyone admired to someone everyone mocks. Now he's trapped in a prison of his own making with no way out.